What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. We're going to be breaking down this Alabama versus Michigan matchup in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Right now, Alabama is listed as a 13-point favorite in this game. And, thank God for all of us. It's an early game, on New Year's Eve, so you got all afternoon and all evening to enjoy the rest of your evening. There's also a college football playoff game on that evening as well. So, look, Michigan had a pretty bad season so far, during this season. Really up in the air on who their quarterback ever was this season, but they did finish off the season with a very nice win over Ohio State. So definitely don't want to rule out anything, and definitely do not want to lose this game against Michigan. Michigan really got to get our get-back game after last season. So if you guys want Alabama to drop a 50 burger on Michigan, go ahead and like today's video for me right now. That should pretty much be every single person that watches this video, of course, unless you're a Michigan fan that just happened to stumble upon this video. So if you guys are Alabama fans and you want to beat the hell out of Michigan in this game, let out a lot of anger over last year and how, how this season went for Alabama, go ahead and like today's video for me right now. All right, some notable departures here for Alabama. 14 total players off to the transfer portal. Jaheim Otis, obviously, he left the team during the season. Keanu Coate left the team during the season, a little bit later on after that LSU game as well. Pretty much everybody except for Justice Haynes has made a decision on where they're going to be playing football next season. Now, as of right now, we're filming this video on Christmas Eve because we are off for the next couple of days. But as of right now on Christmas Eve, Justice Haynes has not decided yet, but On3 did report yesterday that it's either going to be Michigan or South Carolina. So I would assume, this video is going out on the 27th. So I would assume he might have a decision by then. But like I said, either going to be Michigan or South Carolina for Justice Haynes. Obviously also hurts that you lose Devontae Smith going off to Notre Dame, but, kind of makes a little bit of sense considering he is from Cincinnati, wants to be a little bit closer to home. There's also going to be some notable injuries for Alabama in this game. Malachi Moore, he's going to be out, going to be getting some surgery on a lingering, or I guess he already had the surgery, on a lingering injury that he had during the season. Keon Sabb, he's still going to be out for the game. For the remainder of the season. Caden Proctor's going to be out for this game. Going to be having surgery on that shoulder that he injured at the beginning of the season. So he'll be good for spring camp. He'll be good for everything like that, but he will be missing this game. Quandarius Robinson is out. Cole Adams also out. Jalen Hill, he's been out the entire season. But two other guys, Bubba Hampton and Amari Jefferson, also have been banged up, and they're going to be out for this game. Now, while Alabama does not technically have any opt-outs, Michigan does have a few opt-outs. And, I will say this with a little bit of a grain of salt, on the opt-out situation. Some of these guys, who knows, maybe they do end up playing in the game. But as of right now, it is expected that these guys are not going to play for Michigan. Myles Hinton, their left tackle, not going to be playing. Colston Loveland, Mason Graham, they're surefire first-round draft picks. They're not going to be playing. Donovan Edwards doesn't seem like he's going to be playing in this game. Khalil Mullings, he is a senior running back. He was their leading running back for Michigan this year. So their top two running backs, Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings, will not be playing in this game. And then Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, he's mulling over his future right now, according to On3. There's a chance he comes back next year if Michigan offers him a pretty sizable NIL deal, but as of right now, really he's the only one, Kenneth Grant, that I would asterisk in terms of not playing in this game. For the most part, I think everybody else will be opting out on the Michigan side. Get in the comments section for me right now, guys, and predict the score to Alabama versus Michigan. Kind of hope this game is going to be a blowout and you get a chance to get some of those younger guys in this game. It's the pinned comment of today's video, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, totally fine. You could ignore it. Go down there and predict the score to Alabama versus Michigan. Got some fun facts here for this matchup. The series is tied right now, all-time 3-3. So this is the 7th matchup. Alabama has an opportunity to get ahead on that matchup board there. Michigan did defeat Alabama the last time they played. Of course, that was in last year's college football semifinals. In the Rose Bowl game, Michigan won that game 27-20. And I don't care how well Seth McLaughlin played this year for Ohio State, I will never forgive him for the bad snap at the end of that game. Largest margin of victory in this series, Alabama versus Michigan. In 2012, they kicked off the season against each other in the first game of the year. Alabama beat the crap out of Michigan in that one, 41-14. Let's get into some keys to victory for this game. Key to victory number one here, just run the ball. I can't imagine. There's this narrative out there that Alabama went out and threw the ball way too much this season, and it really wasn't the case. I get where a lot of people kind of come to that conclusion because, the lack of runs from your running backs, but really the reason was because of Jalen Milroe. He was really your leading rusher this year, had 152 carries, over 700 yards on the ground, and 20 rushing touchdowns as well. So I can only imagine that Alabama kind of sticks with that same game plan. You're probably going to see plenty of Jalen Milroe running the ball, and I would assume you also see more of Jam Miller running the ball as well. He had a career high 28 carries in that Iron Bowl matchup against Auburn. And while he only went for like 80-something yards in that game, like 3 yards per carry or something like that, there were a lot of hard yards that he was able to grind out in that game. So I would assume you're going to see a lot of running the ball from Jam Miller and Jalen Milroe in this game. Can't imagine the game plan is really going to change that much from what it was for most of the season. And also, you got a lot of wide receivers who are banged up in this game. So keep the ball on the ground, really control the time of possession. I think that's going to be one of the key things for Alabama. It's coming away with a win in this matchup. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. It's super easy to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. You guys can join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're also giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 different states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can still double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. This is our Prize Picks slate for this week's slate of games. Got Rico Dowdle, more than rushing yards for him. Went with a more than on Jared Goff. Passing yards also went with a more than on Hunter Henry. Receiving yards, like I said, we went with the flex play here so we can still get one wrong and still come out on top. You guys can download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win to get the $50 bonus. It is just guaranteed. That link is in the comment section and the description of today's video. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, key to victory number 2 here for the Crimson Tide. I think some of these young players are going to have to step up for Alabama. You got a lot of guys that ended up hitting the transfer portal. You also have multiple guys banged up and not going to be playing in this game. So some of the guys I think who are going to have to step up for Alabama. Red Morgan playing that Husky position for the Crimson Tide. Devontae Smith, played that spot really well for you this year. Really going to miss him next year, but also have a lot of confidence in Red Morgan and Deshaun Jones as well at that Husky position. Zay Mincy, originally he's been playing mostly that cornerback position this year, but, according to Kane Womack, there's a chance you see him at that safety spot for this game because, you have Malachi Moore, who's going to be down for this game. Also, you got Keon Zapp. He's been out for a long time. So I would assume your starters at that safety spot are going to be Zay Mincy, and it's going to be Bray Hubbard. Wilkin Formby, I think he's going to have to step up in this game as well. Caden Proctor, not going to be playing, had surgery on that shoulder. So whether or not he's at the right tackle spot or the left tackle spot, it's a very good opportunity for Wilkin Formby to have some time on task and really kind of get closer in terms of him versus Elijah Pritchett going into next season. And then 2 more wide receivers, Rico Scott and Jaron Hamilton as well. You only got a couple wide receivers, playing in this game. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and these 2 guys right here. We'll see what happens, whether or not Jalen Mbakwe plays any offense in this game. But I think one of your big keys to victory is some of these young guys have definitely got to step up for Alabama. Make sure you guys are also subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. Just like the entire season, we will also be live for this bowl game, Alabama versus Michigan. Usually go live about an hour before kickoff, so do not miss out. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. Key to victory number 3 here, don't get got, a.k.a. trick plays. This is a bowl game. Michigan has not had the best season so far this year. You saw some relative, trick plays during that college football playoff game last year. But look, man, it's bowl season right now. A lot of things can happen. We've so far, in this bowl season so far, there's been a lot of trick plays out there. Don't get got by some of those trick plays. Stay with your man. Stay, with your assignment, what you have to do. Because I would not put past Michigan, whether or not that's actual trick plays on offense or whether that's fake punts and things like that. There's a lot of different things that could happen, so don't get got in this game. Key to victory number 4, get up for this game as well. So there's this narrative, and it's not the most false narrative out there, but there is a narrative out there that Alabama just doesn't care about bowl games. If they don't, have any big relevance in terms of the college football playoffs and national championships and things like that. But really, look, Alabama's been winning a lot of their bowl games. These are some of the notable bowl games that, don't have to do with the college football playoffs or going all the way back to the, BCS, era there. Obviously, Alabama a couple years ago in the Sugar Bowl really did put it on Kansas State after that run by Deuce Vaughn earlier in the game. It was pretty much all Alabama from there on. And then, if you remember back to, Alabama won the national championship in 2020. I put the dates on this when the actual game was played. So some of these games were played on New Year's Eve. Some of them were played on like January 1st, January 2nd. So I just put the date when that was. But played Michigan a couple years ago in the Citrus Bowl, took care of business there. And then a lot of people remember that Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma, as well as the Sugar Bowl against Utah in 2009. They really point to those 2 games, and the excuse why we lost is, Alabama doesn't really care about bowl games. I just don't think that is the truth. These guys want, to go out there and they want to perform and they want to win this game because, look, there's a lot of guys who are going to be going off to the NFL draft, and it's not very good tape if you go out there and really, drag ass and lollygag in this game. So, sure, it's not part of the 12-team playoff. You're not going to go win a national championship this year, but make no mistake about it. Alabama wants to win this football game. So who do you guys think scores the first touchdown for the Crimson Tide in this bowl game? Personally, I think it's just Jalen Milroe run is going to be the first touchdown for the Crimson Tide in this game. But let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and predict it for me in the comments section right now. All right, key to victory number 5 here. Let's just send the boys off right. Go out there and take care of business. I want these guys who go out there as starters in this game to play so well that Alabama gets a lead and some of these guys are able to get a curtain call at the end of the game, whether that's Tyler Booker, whether that's Jalen Milroe, and some of those other guys, obviously, Malachi Moore, Quandarius Robinson not going to be playing in this game, but send the boys off right, go out there, put up 100 against Michigan and really solidify your last, game at Alabama as a game that some of the fans can remember and more of a positive note because obviously this season didn't go as we all, would have hoped for anyways. But look, it can all be made up for, I think, if Alabama goes out there and puts a number on Michigan.